V'siyata d'shmaya, and welcome back to Humans at Risk. We've been discussing the many reasons and contributing factors that good people do bad things sometimes. It helps us be don l'kaf zchus, give them the benefit of the doubt. So till now we've discussed all the outside, external contributing factors that have to be taken into account that turn him into that little bit less of a bad person. In today's clip, the last clip, we're going to be discussing number 17, 18, 19, and 20, which are a bit different. This is not why he did the Aveira, this is how he did the Aveira. Number 17, guilt. The Gemara writes that if somebody feels he's got no choice, he's got to do this Aveira, then he should wear black clothes. It shouldn't be, no one should recognize him, and it shouldn't be a Chilul Hashem. The Tzlach writes in his drashas, that's the Nedi B'Yehuda, that wearing the black clothes will make him feel remorseful. It'll make him feel guilty and shameful. A person that does an Aveira, when he feels guilty, it takes away a tremendous amount of the severity of the Aveira that he's done. It might look like he's having a good time, but deep down, he's not. He's not feeling good about himself. I have so often heard bochrim, boys, girls, telling me, we acted out, but we really did not feel good about it. Even when we were doing the Aveira, that guilty conscience, we couldn't run away from it. I once had a bocher that told me, however far I go, the fact that I know what's right, and I know what the Torah wants, is giving me no peace. The Pri Megadim in Teivas Goyma in Parshas Vayikra says an amazing word. L'maisa, I've seen it quoted b'shem the Goinim. I didn't find them inside, and the Pri Megadim definitely says it. We know there's a pasuk in the Klolis of Kisavoi that says, "Tachas asher lo yavadeto es Hashem elikecho b'simcha v'tov leivov." The reason the Klolis come is because you didn't serve Hashem b'simcha. So he writes in Parshas Vayikra and in Parshas Kisavoi that he heard from the darshan of Posen. Posner, he had the following thing. He says, "Tachas asher lo yavadeto es Hashem," because when you were not serving Hashem, when you were doing Aveiros, b'simcha v'tov leiv, you were feeling good about it, that's why you get the klolos. But if whilst you were doing the Aveira, you were not feeling good about it, then it takes away the aggression of the Aveira, and he'll get much less oynish for it, much less punishment. And to put it in different words, there's a part inside him that's feeling guilty, and that part is having no part in the Aveira. We're going to discuss this in our next series of Mitzvah Hashem, about how to deal with the Roshaim once we know they're Roshaim. But there's a part inside that really does not want to do this Aveira. Let's use that as a don l'kaf zchus. You see this person doing a terrible Aveira. He's eating on Yom Kippur. Well, he's not enjoying his food. That's a certain kaf zchus. It's not as if he's all out, yeah, he's having a great time, I'm eating on Yom Kippur. No, he's eating it with a tremendous amount of pain. Number 18. Could it be that before he did the Aveira, he pushed it off a little bit? I know this is not really right. Let's do it a little bit later. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's do it not yet. You know how many bochrim have told me we fight and fight for hours before we succumb to the Yetzer Hara? So you might see somebody doing an Aveira. Okay. Did you take into account the amount of time he may have not done the Aveira? He might have spent 2 hours not doing the Aveira and getting tremendous schar for overcoming his Yetzer Hara for those 2 hours. And then when he did the Aveira in 1 minute. So we see the 1 minute and we're judging him what a Rasha he is. He was a tzaddik. He may have been battling his Yetzer Hara much more than we have. We didn't have that challenge. He may have spent half of Yom Kippur fighting his Yetzer Hara and the second half eating, when we get no schar for not eating on Yom Kippur because we didn't have that challenge. Number 19, it could have been worse. This bocher, you see him smoking on Shabbos, you think what goy he is? Well, he might be smoking less cigarettes on Shabbos than during the week because he knows he's not allowed to smoke. He might get tremendous schar for that hiskabrus, for that to be overcoming that Yetzer Hara. Does that mean he's allowed to smoke on Shabbos? Chas v'shalom. But before we judge him, do you realize the Averos that he's not doing because he's fighting? This boy that only drinks on Yom Kippur and doesn't eat on Yom Kippur, of course it's terrible to drink on Yom Kippur. But are we aware of the schar he might get for not eating on Yom Kippur? The Gemara says if somebody's yoshav v'lo yavar avera, noisnim lo yischar ka'is mitzvah. Every second he's not doing an avera, and the Gemara says k'goin shebod var avera liyodei v'nitzel imenu. He had the challenge, he had the nisoyan to do the avera. Do you know how many times these people were judging had the nisoyan and they didn't do the avera, or they did less of an avera? Number 20. What about the good part in him? Let's say you see him doing an avera, but is that all there is to him? Tehillim Dvorah says when you see somebody doing an avera, look away from the negative side and look, this person also does a lot of mitzvahs. And before you write him off as a bad person, no, maybe he did a bad thing and maybe you couldn't find any of the 19 things we mentioned till now, you couldn't find that. But he also does good things. Let's focus on that side of him. This part of him that's a very good person. The Rashba writes in a tshuva, if Omi Matamis Alim is borrowed that term from the Gemara, that sometimes you don't need to give back an Aveda, Lif Omi Matamis Alim, sometimes you can close a blind eye. You don't always have to see the Avera. See the good things, focus on the good things, look away from the bad things. Rashi writes, Dvorim Perek Chof, V'omar lehem Shema Yisrael, atem krevim hayom lemelchama lo yivechem al yirach levavchem. Hashem says, listen, Klal Yisrael, you're going to now go to war. Don't worry. Al yirach levavchem. Rashi says, afilu ein bechem schus elo kriyas Shema bilvad. Even if you only have the Shema Yisrael and you're not doing anything else wrong, kedai atem sheyishia eschem. You're deserving of being saved. Somebody once came to Levi Yitzchok of Baradichev and said to him, I've got a proof against your Torah. It says in your Shema that if you do the mitzvahs, you're going to get everything good. Im Shema Tishma. Then you're going to get Geshem, there'll be rain, there'll be Parnasa, everything will be good. If you do the Averas, you're going to get punished. When this person says, I do every Avera in the Torah, and Baruch Hashem, I've got family, I've got health, I've got wealth, and I'm not missing anything. It's against what it says in your Shema. So I believe Yitzchok of Bardichev asked him, how do you know what it says in the Shema? So he says, what do you mean? When I was bar mitzvahed, who knows how many years ago, how many decades ago, and I once put on tefillin, I said Shema. So what it says, I believe Yitzchok says, you see, you once said the Shema when you were bar mitzvahed back then, and look what you deserve as a reward for it. Let's look at the good parts, however small it might seem to us. It's part of who he is, no less than the bad things he's doing. In our next series, we'll be discussing this more at length. Let's use that as a kafschus. You're judging the person. The lashon of the Mishnah is havedon es kol ha'odom lekafschus. When you're judging, I think the Sfas Emes says this, Diok and others, judge the whole person. You might see some bad things, but it's not all there is of him. There's the good part as well. Judge him, judge the whole part of him. So we've now been through 20 nukudas, 20 points, where each and every one of them can help us find that kafschus, the benefit of the doubt, even when people are doing terrible averas. We don't have to judge. If we judge, judge right. The Sfas Emes writes that havidon es kol odom lekafschus. He says, who told you to judge, Bichlal? Why are you judging anyone else, Bichlal? You have to tell me how to judge them, lekafschus, not lekafschus. Sfas Emes says that you don't have to judge. But the way you judge your friend, that's how they're going to judge your friend in Shemaim. So when you see somebody doing something bad, then if you can't judge him l'kaf don't judge him. But if you're judging him, look for that schus. Like we said previously, besides the fact that it will help him become a better person, which is the skula of B'tzedek Tishboi Tisamisecha, in Shemaim you'll be causing that they are judging him favorably and will help him get back on track. Let's judge each other favorably. Let's judge ourselves favorably. And that will give us the strength to overcome all our challenges in spite of how difficult it is, in spite of the Yetzer Hara and all the things we mentioned. It should give us the koyach and everybody else the koyach to withstand our nisyonos. And Yemir Hashem will get out of these weeks of Shoyuvim with tremendous chizuk and feeling we can do this. Yes, we can.